Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to Fern Between Us, episode 70.
Hey, now.
Older than you.
Even older than the birthday boy.
Yes!
Good evening, you guys. We are two of the four owners of Evoc Winery. That's Michelle.
That's Jesse. And he's the birthday boy. And this is what the episode is going to be about. So we got
schnockered on your birthday.
Last week I did talk about maybe having a spotlight on Liliana and how she makes her chocolates. That didn't come together. Short timing, this, that, and the other. So we've decided that you need to know more about Jesse as it's going to be his birthday on Sunday.
Need to know more about me.
Well, yeah. The viewers want to know.
I'm an enigma, and there's no telling how deep this hole goes.
As you might see, we are not drinking our usual wine. We are drinking martinis. And why are we drinking martinis, babe?
Because this is one of my favorite drinks. I love gin. I love martinis. Gin martinis, as we'll get into. And scotch would be the other one. Wine, scotch, and gin. But gin, I drink more gin than scotch.
Yep. And I like vodka. So we decided that it's...
She doesn't drink it very often, though. She should.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first got together, I drank it a lot. And
that's all you drank, almost.
yeah. And I drank a lot of it.
Schnockered.
Only not. We were just talking about that. Like, the buzz is very different for me with vodka, and and it doesn't affect me quite the same way, which is really interesting. And you were talking about how gin is essentially vodka, only that it's got
it's the exact same alcohols
and herbals.
It can be it's a base vodka. Basically, they make a vodka and then run it through a still one more time, but with aromatics, with botanicals, they call them.
Yes.
And so,
that sounds better.
You know, somewhere between 6 to low 20s, depending on the maker or whatever. But you know, a nice round number in there is like a 10, 12, 14 ingredient botanical basket. Can be done before, can be done after. But we were trying to figure out why I don't like vodka. And why I do like gin and some of these other ones. I'll take any hard liquor, but not vodka.
He likes it hard.
I don't know, whatever it is. Like, I'll do a vodka mixed drink, but then I hate the hangover. Like, but you know,
because usually it's mixed with something sweet, where you're just getting the sugar. It's like drinking a bunch of sweet wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hangover sucks.
So what we came to is that I feel like any of these things are kind of poison, right? And I want to taste how intense the poison is. So I want it to taste kind of bad a little bit, and she does not want it to taste kind of bad a little bit. That's the vodka drinker versus an everything but vodka drinker. I don't know. Very strange. I don't know why I think that way.
Yeah, and you know, I've heard plenty of people say that vodka doesn't taste like anything, therefore it doesn't really matter what brand you buy. I completely disagree with that. I find some to be harsher than others. I delved into it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And, oops, I should have looked at some of those notes. But I remember one of the biggest things was the water source.
Yeah.
And how that really changes the profiles. And of course, now that we know a little bit more about distillation and how you can really change that, how much of the heads, also, you know, any number of the heat, all those things. I think there's a big difference in flavor profile.
There is. I've tasted a couple vodkas that I was like, dang, this is good. But I think it's because I had some amount of flavor. And I liked it, you know?
I like them to taste mineral.
Yeah.
Like my wines. I have congruent taste profiles. So, yeah, I'm going to just do a little PR for Tito's. Of course you know them, because who doesn't know them? They are amazing. It is awesome.
Is that George Clooney?
No.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Somebody famous owns that.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
I think that's George Clooney. Denali will look it up for us.
No, we actually mean that. Yes, please look it up. Yeah, that would be interesting. And the Taos Lightning Group that makes the vodka that I'm obsessed with.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what they call it. What do they call it?
It's got this really colorful, like Aztec.
It's the Mayan calendar is on the front.
Oh, is that what it is? Yes.
Repeat all of this in case the mic do indeed work. Bert Beverage is the founder and master distiller of Fifth Generation Incorporated, the producer of Tito's Handmade Vodka.
So not George Clooney. George Clooney is not affiliated with this.
All right,
Bert Beverage.
Anyway,
there you
Bert.
go. Bert
I
Beverage.
really enjoy your vodka. And the Taos Lightning folks that make exquisite vodka. That really is one of my all-time favorites.
Do you know what yours is made out of?
I don't. If it's potato or not.
Right.
I do tend to like potato vodkas.
You also like all rye vodkas.
I know. And I love rye bread.
Yeah.
I guess it's
yeah.
the
And that's some of the only vodkas I've loved anyway.
Yeah, so that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how you like your martini, babe.
Everyone's
Shaken?
different,
Not
right?
stirred?
No, neither. I want it on the rocks. That's the way I always drink all my, if I order a martini and forget to say on the rocks, like it comes in an up glass and I'm like, oh, dang, it's wrong. And it also costs more. Maybe not. But, you're not getting a cheap martini if it's in an up glass, But, two or three ice cubes. We don't do the big ice cube. We don't have that here anyway. I don't mind it or whatever.
And you've got a classic gin that you're using.
Exactly.
Tanqueray.
I love Tanqueray. It's just a solid profile. I don't want it to be sweet for me. I use a couple drops of vermouth.
I would like to point out how big this bottle is. And he uses like literally 2 or 3 drops.
The last one lasted us over a decade.
Yes. Why aren't they making them in petite bottles? But I actually use just a little bit, and I rinse my glass with it, and then pour it down the sink. I should have just poured it into your glass. Wasn't thinking. So yeah, I'm glad I could buy this.
And all I
pour
need
it
is
down the drain.
a couple drops, if that. Not always. Sometimes I use it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have an olive. Sometimes I don't. I like it probably less than dirty, which dirty means more olives and olive juice. I like some in there. I don't like tons.
There's also extra dirty, and then there's filthy. And I will take mine all the way to filthy sometimes.
Yeah, dirty girl. we knew that though, didn't we?
I love olives. I love olive juice. I think it's so yummy. And, it's interesting because my family's always trying to feed you olives.
Right? I like olives. I just don't like tons of them. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not poo-pooing. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum over here,
Yeah, I like that. Yes. And so I used just the rinse throughout the vermouth, ice, and a little bit of olive juice in the shaker with just a few ice cubes, shaken vigorously, drained out. That's how I like mine.
Nice.
We don't have up glasses, which suddenly for the first time I was like, no.
Yeah.
Maybe if I start drinking these more, we'll have to get some.
Get a handful, get 4 up glasses or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway,
If it's just me, then rocks it is.
Anyway, now let's delve into the questions. And that's what you're really here for. We want to find out about Jesse, the birthday boy, who's going to be 46 on Sunday.
Man.
All right, let's just go
46.
for it. Oh wow, the highlights on this page are really difficult to read. It almost looks like they've been blacked out, which is very interesting.
I told you the highlighter looks like it's highlighting wrong.
I'm so sorry. Lubosh, forgive me. This is so tacky. I have to have my paper with me. What was the booze that you first got sick on?
Oh, I know that for sure.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it was 2. Mad Dog Kiwi Lime and Jose Cuervo. And I do remember one point in the evening drinking both simultaneously out of some pint bottles. So it was no bueno. I had also had ramen that night. And I was staying in an attic, so I puked down the stairs. And it was gelled by the time I got to it, like in the morning.
Would that be at Chef Kai's house?
It was. How'd you know? Yeah, it was at his dad's house. His dad was out of town for a month or whatever, and so we were just doing what the guys would do at that point, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
It's kind of a rough one. Yeah, and it was only the first of many to come. So I don't blame tequila. I don't blame Mad Dog. I do say that's a horrible combination.
Yes, and be careful if you're ever drinking Mad Dog, because eventually you will puke on that. It's potent and it tastes like, candy.
And it kind of tastes okay coming back up too. So,
it's
but
neon.
not if it's neon vomit, and then it's also
right.
tastes a lot like tequila if you've also had tequila in with it. So it's not, if you just vomit, if you're just going to town on Mad Dog and that comes back, it's not that bad.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, this is a 2-parter. So the second part is, what is the booze you and Michelle cannot drink any longer because, you can't? So would that be those? Definitely not those 2.
Not those 2. I don't know that you and I have one, actually.
No, I think it's just separate.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Tequila's still tough for me. I've had a lot of times with tequila, and that one is rough. And even though I like it, any of the bourbons are intense. It's part of why I dig on them, but I'm just sipping, and and once you get acclimated, I'm good. I'm better with it. But Scotch was my first whiskey love because I had so many high school experiences with Jack Daniels and Jim Beam, basically.
Yes, I remember some of those experiences, and I remember the.
Could that be why you're not into Jack Daniels and?
All I think of with Jack Daniels is you and some of your friends and a campfire up in the woods, which will remain anonymous.
Yeah, we were always in the woods every time back in high school. Well, besides when Kai's dad was out of town for a month.
Yeah. And you only drank out of the bottle, and Jim Beam is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had thought it was for sure tequila because I've had some rough nights on tequila more than once. There's so many memories that flash forward with that, and they were never good. But our sister-in-law, Liliana, is teaching me to appreciate it. She buys really delicious tequila, and she's, on a rare occasion when we have some kind of party or special get-together, and she breaks it out, I always enjoy the tequilas that she shares. So I feel like maybe I'm getting past that.
It's all about sipping, and your first sip is always going to be an affront because hard alcohol is rough. I mean, it just, by definition, is. Those are the ones I like the best, though. The ones that are roughest are the ones I end up liking the best for over a period of a couple hours, right?
Yeah. Also, you pointed out the other night, I can't remember what instigated you telling the story, but that my experience with Southern Comfort, SoCo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate that.
So
it's disgusting, and it's because I drank a lot of it.
Way too much of it there for a year or whatever.
Sodas.
Yeah. And it's already so sweet to begin with. Like you kind of don't want to.
Do you remember Blue Sky Vanilla?
Oh yeah, gross. What are you thinking? That's right. You're just making it palatable, sort of, for a second. Yikes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Blue Sky doesn't exist anymore.
I know, it's so sad. That was such a great company. Okay, I know you ran a 50-mile race some years ago. What is your next big goal?
Stupid getting old. Like, I don't want it to be my birthday, guys.
But you're so handsome and you've done such a good job. You're a great winemaker.
So I've got lower back issues now that I've been dealing with for a year, better part of a year now, and it's been brutal, and it's not getting that much better. I've had a couple cortisone shots, blah blah blah, but I have gone on a couple jogs in the last couple weeks. So if it tenses up, but let's see what happens. Maybe I can push through, and maybe it'll be healing in the end, and maybe I can still be a jogger or a runner or whatever. I would love to do another marathon, a handful of do a marathon a year or whatever, just something to keep me in shape. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I've also wanted to do the Continental Divide Trail, which not as a hiker, but more as like a jogger or a
and you
mountain
were getting
biker.
Prepped, like he bought all the weird equipment. Like,
and then my back seized up, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh well, then also COVID happened at the same time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like between all that, I'm like, no, that's not. It didn't. Oh, COVID happened, and then last year my back foot went up. So maybe section do it in sections, a couple weeks per year
Continental
for a handful.
Divide being maybe what your goal is.
Maybe, but also mountain biking is really where it's at for me at this point. Or I know I can do it.
Yeah.
At least.
Do you want to taste
Oh
mine?
yeah, let's taste yours and you taste mine.
Okay.
Olivey.
Gin-y.
Wow, that's a lot of olives. Man, that's intense stuff.
That is so light. Oh, that's hilarious.
If you don't taste vodka, it's like... Where's she at?
That's not bad.
Right?
That's not bad.
It's as watered down as it's going to get because all the ice is melted. But to me, this is too much olives.
This is not enough olives. That's like a botanical garden. It's like soap.
Soap.
Oh. Maybe you like soap.
Maybe.
This could be way cheaper, guys.
Maybe. I don't think I'm going to get the same thrill out of the soap, though.
All right. What do you want to make sure you've done by the time you are 50?
Oh, crap. 50. I don't know. I'm doing it, guys. I feel like, keep traveling. There's some time limit things on physicality. So, but I don't consider 50 to be a mile marker for that. I figure like if I can stay in sort of decent shape, maintain it rather than letting myself go too far. I'm thinking 65 is where you separate. Some things you're just not going to be, and then that's given some amount of luck. If good luck, it could go longer. Bad luck, it could happen anytime, as we know. So, but on average, if you can, at 65, I don't know how many, you're not going past a marathon for sure. I don't think.
Well,
things like
that's
that,
not
you know
true.
what I mean?
What about Janet Blackburn, your cousin?
Well, all right, but she wasn't 65 doing, she started, I think she started around 50, and she's been going strong, and she does marathons, but I don't think
starting.
I don't think unless you're just miraculous and so lucky, and also the work ethic and all the prep, I don't think you're really gonna go further than 26.
She's just amazed me
60, 65.
that she picked it up.
Yeah. And wants to do more. I haven't seen her in a couple of years, so I don't know where she's at these days, but she's...
You should get on social media, because it actually is...
I'm not there, guys. I'm not there. I'm not doing it. But
anyway, go Janet.
Janet's amazing.
Oh, man.
All my cousins and aunts and uncles, that whole... my mom's... The Blackburn family reunion is filled with amazing gente that just... They just all
do incredible things.
Yeah, it like I can't even. I don't know. I can't even describe it, but you know.
And some of us
trying to keep up.
Yeah, and some of us have RA and are very unhappy. Anyway, what is the number one thing that you have learned that you don't think other people have figured out yet?
Ooh. Well, I mean, I've got all the answers. I don't know.
Believe
I don't know about all you guys,
he
but
believes that.
There's lots of things that everyone's messing up on that number one over here doesn't. But you know, obviously, all right. So what is that? I don't know. I don't know what exactly, but I do feel like we've lined out an amazing situation in life for ourselves. Chris and I originally sat down saying we want to, we're always going to work hard. We knew that. We want to work hard, but we want to have flexibility in time and schedule. And we want to be not by the hour, which kind of eliminates like doctoring and lawyering and things like that a little bit. So we were kind of like, we want to produce something, and that was kind of, and we wanted to be here in northern Mexico. Those were like the four main tenets of what what we set out to figure out what to do, and then we'd like booze, so we ended up in the alcohol industry, well, I'm so stoked that that's what we did.
One of the things that is a key component that I really love is that you guys had the foresight to plan on partnering so that one guy could go tour the world and have a vacation while the other guy could,
it was always open. What we wanted to do was go traveling for extended periods, and finally we can afford it. So I spent all my whole 30s and late 20s not traveling, even though that's what I really wanted to do, but because we couldn't afford it. But now we're to the point that we can, and it's because it is a focus. Stoked.
And when we're here, 100%. We work our butts off, and we have a little house. We're not
exactly something we can close the doors and walk away if we need to. But I don't know. It's we got 25 years before my 65 cutoff, right?
We got a lot to do. There's Kilimanjaro.
Full abilities.
What's the circumambulation?
Mont Blanc.
Mont Blanc. He's got a lot of big plans.
I want to go to Aconcagua, which is the tallest mountain outside of the Himalayas, down in Chile and Argentina. It's right on the border. I've got a few plans.
My RA drug better kick in fast.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be a solo mission up with a bunch of sticky guys in a tent, I'd rather my beautiful wife with me.
Or your daughter and wife could be at the charming little villa drinking wine by the fire.
It's probably going to end up more like that, but that's all right.
No, I love thinking of these things, and you push me to do things that I wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And,
sometimes you like them, sort of.
Kind of.
You never regret them.
I don't. I ran a full marathon. I've run several half marathons now, and I feel very proud of those accomplishments.
And you should, and that's plenty. You don't have to do more. I've never forced her. I did bribe her one time to run the first half. I paid $1,000. Say, hey, if you want to run a half, I'll give you $1,000. And it was back when $1,000 was our entire year's expendable income.
We're talking, we were on food stamps, WIC.
Literally nothing. She's like, I'll do that. And, what'd you get? Some jewelry and a tattoo? Your whole tattoo?
My whole arm. Well,
that's what it was.
My arm cost a little bit more.
Right.
it was supposed to be smaller, and then working with the artist, it got bigger. And you can't say no to the artist.
No, the artist knows what they need to do.
Yeah.
And they're right.
But I never would have gotten it had you not proposed this, and I was able to actually do it. So
here's my tip on how to...
here's your tip.
Just get a couple of drops.
Tip.
I put a couple drops, however much comes out, into here, and then I can just do a couple drops. And there you go.
Yeah.
Pour the rest back in here. That's how I get the right amount.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sheesh. Are you cut off yet?
Probably close.
All right. So did you figure anything out?
About?
Your number one thing? The question
I don't
was,
have a number one thing. I'm working on a bunch of plans at the same time, so I've mentioned them all, though.
People haven't?
Oh. No, it was just setting up
This is what happens when you have martinis for the show.
It was setting everything up right and then marrying the right woman. I don't know. I guess it got between those two things. She said, I'm on easy straight here. I mean,
that is really...
I'm going to keep working, you know,
that
but
is so cute.
keep working at everything. But I figure, like, the pins are set, you know? We're doing okay.
I mean, this question is not to me, but I do feel like over the years, over the last 6 years have been particularly difficult with my health stuff. And what I'm having a crying day, so just, you know.
Here she goes. The waterworks.
But what I really figured out recently, which it sounds so silly and trite, but really pushing yourself to do things that maybe you're scared of, because that actually holds you back from really feeling alive. And if you are looking at, you know, a brink of not being able to do things, oops, so much fun. Oh my God, the show is like hilarious. But it does push you to like want to go further and, you know, be with your family and take the time off. And, you know, one of our best friends who was super sick, she said, you know what, you can't take back any time that's already passed. And you know what, ice cream for breakfast and playing hooky with your elementary school kid, sometimes that is absolutely the best. And don't forget to do that. And she's not with us any longer, and that really so I feel like I really learned that. And I don't think a lot of people have really felt it, you know? It's very different, the conceptualization. Anyway, so that's fun. Sorry.
I agree with you completely.
All right, last question. Has your taste in wines changed since you were in your 20s?
Yes. So for sure. And it's not... they're not categorical changes necessarily, but I go through phases where there'll be a few years when I'm like, I want white wines, and there's like a year or two that I want rosés, and then there's like 5 years that I want reds, and then it morphs back and forth. And you know, I've really dug on like the Napa Cab or the big bold awesome, you know, Bordeaux, whatever. And then, like, right now, I'm, like, in a phase opposite that. I'm like, no, I don't.
I want something a little nuanced.
Right. Yeah, I want something lighter and nuanced and this and that. But, it changes. It changes not so much seasonally. I know a lot of people have seasonal, like, I do white in the summer and red in the winter. For me, it's never held true to want something lighter in the hot weather or heavier in the cold weather. But it does change over time, and they're all valid. That, you know, it's because they're all great.
Do you remember some of the wines that when you first got into drinking wine, what those were that you kind of like stylistic, you know, or was there something that you were drawn to? Like, I remember really liking Riojas. When I thought I was serious about wine.
Yeah, Rioja was an early one. I remember, Argentine Malbec, and I don't know, kind of like a bigger, juicier, fruitier red, probably. Not all the way over to sweet, but like in the genre of slightly sweeter. Was originally,
fruit
you know,
forward, dense fruit, not necessarily sweet. But
when you're getting into it, the fruit is a friendly flavor, and the rest of it is unknown, and so you kind of like just, you know, walk the line. Sometimes you pull it back a little, sometimes you go a little further, you know, and you
Walk
just
the line. I like that movie.
and I don't know, I think you get somewhere and then you stop doing those and then you revisit them and you're like, dang, that's really good. Yeah, I don't know.
It seems to me that it's easiest for people to get into sweet whites and start there. And then for sure bubblies. Most people can palate bubblies, especially because you can add fruit and, you know, there's all kinds of, you know, orange juice.
Yeah.
And then there's moving into those more fruit-forward reds. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like it swings back. And then all of a sudden you're going into dry whites. And then you swing back and you go into dry reds, but still kind of the big, bold. Yeah. And then you swing back and get more nuanced with some unusual white grapes. And then you swing the other way. And then you want those really nuanced, interesting reds. I don't know. I feel like it really kind of takes you through a path. Yep. And I mean, it's so interesting.
I love exploring new flavors, and then at some point you're just exploring it, or you've only been on all these new flavors, and then you like revisit some of the old staples, and you're like, oh man, yes, but maybe a different brand, or you know, like. I see what I liked about that. Right, but I see that was too oaky or too sweet or too fruity or whatever, and you like, but you're back on Chardonnay, or you know, I don't know, and it's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. It all changes, and I love it, and I want that. Yeah, I want it to keep changing.
Yeah, for sure, and I think that's one of the best things about revisiting wines that you haven't had for a while. Revisiting wineries. Because not only is their progression changing, but your palate is too. So you might find things that you didn't previously like amazing. I think that's a really good thing too. Yeah. Well, so it's, let's see, how old were you when
we opened?
98 was when you guys
so we were founded in 98, in the fall of 98. So I was 22 at that point, and now
so super hot.
22, and then in 03 we opened. Yep. And that took us 5 years, and it was to the month, and so I was 27. I was 27. Is that right?
You were 28 when we got married, right?
Yeah,
04?
I just know I was 30 when she was born. 04, yeah.
Math.
Yeah.
Martinis and math.
28, yeah. So it's 27. I don't know. Anyway, now I'm going to be 46.
We got together when I was 23 and you were 26. And 3 years later, right?
Yeah.
We got married, engaged, then married. Like it took us a while.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be 24 and 26 or
this
23 and 25?
This is bad airtime. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so somewhere right in there. And now, but from 98, from the time exactly.
Skip the martinis.
Exactly. So it's been 23 years since we came up with the idea to start down this path in earnest. And
you've accomplished a lot. That's what my point was that's amazing. Congratulations. Cheers to everybody that is supporting us, letting us live our dream, and baby, I am so impressed. You guys have, you and Chris are making beautiful, beautiful wines.
Well, thank you.
I'm so proud of you, baby.
Thank you. I love you so much.
Happy birthday.
Let's see if we can do it without knocking over the table.
Good night, you guys. We'll see you next week with a pre-recorded but fantastic winery tour.
Right on. Cheers.